All right, man. We got JD PicKell's Tennessee 2025 football record prediction. Um, Let me know in the comments down below what you think Tennessee's record will be this season. For me personally, I can see 3 losses for them. I think that's the most realistic thing. It depends on Joey Aguilar, really. I think the defense is going to be really good. But I think it all just depends on how well Aguilar is going to fit into the offense and, just how well he's going to play overall. I think playing in the SEC will be a bit of an adjustment for him. But if he plays well, I could see them losing 2 games. Yeah, like I'd say, I don't know what I'd say the ceiling would be, but I think 10-2 would probably be the best they would do. That's just me. But I could see him going 9-3. But if Aguilar struggles, I could see him being like 7-5. Honestly, I don't see him being any worse than 6-6. I don't see them losing more than. I don't see them being under 500. I've seen some pretty crazy takes saying Tennessee will be under 500. I don't think that'll be the case. But yeah, for me, I'd just say 9-3, man.
What's Tennessee's record going to be in 2025? Because it was well documented, all the offseason craziness with Nico hitting the portal and them going to the portal and grabbing Joey Aguilar, and Josh Heupel's made it very clear it's going to be a quarterback battle. What's the record going to be, though? We'll talk about it right now. Let's start with the offensive side. It's hard to give you a super in-depth breakdown on the offense without knowing who your guy is at quarterback, but here's where I land. I just think that you have a head coach and a play caller in Heupel who just makes it work.
That's true.
He just makes it work. Last year, Tennessee won 4 games, scoring in the 20s. The entire time Josh Heupel had been in Tennessee, going into last season, they had won 1 game, scoring less than 30. What does that tell you? Josh Heupel, with who he has at quarterback, what he has on that roster, what they have on defense, to be quite honest with you, he's going to find a way to play to his personnel and, again, just make it work. Now, the way this whole thing explodes is if Joey Aguilar finds his stride. I think he's going to be your guy for you. He starts balling. He's in rhythm with the offense. He's not having this massive learning curve, and they're able to play fast. And then your wide receivers, much like in 2022, someone pops up, maybe not a Jalen Hyatt caliber and wins the Blitnikoff, but like if a freshman receiver Travis Smith pops up or Chris Razzle plays to his potential, Tennessee at that point has the potential to, I think, have the exclamation mark to what their run game is going to be. Because how they line up, they're going to give you a light box more often than not because they give you such wide splits. So your defense has to honor that. So it creates advantages in the run game to get after you.
And
so
it worked. It worked last year really well when you had what's his name, Dylan Sampson or something like that. I think his name was. Dude had so many rushing touchdowns. Might have led the SEC in rushing touchdowns, honestly. But if he didn't, he was up there. Yeah, it worked very well last year. The running game did.
Yeah, but if you have guys that can then win their matchups on the perimeter, then Tennessee starts scoring, and you don't have to live in the world where you're winning games scoring less than.
If the offense can produce at a consistent level, the defense is gonna be great, bro.
30. So there's that part of it to keep account for.
I've heard so many good things about the defense
for you, which isn't saying much. You were like a top 5 unit in America last year, and you lose some key pieces.
Well,
but
yeah,
this is still a group that
I've heard nothing but good things.
Was recruited by this staff. There's still some good carryover from last year with over half the production back. I say I emphasize it's a group recruited by the staff because this is a year now in year 5 for Josh Heupel where I think you see what he's been building for some time. Like he gets there, and in 2022 they're abysmal defensively, but with how they've stockpiled recruiting classes, with how they've addressed needs via the portal, I think you can trust Josh Heupel to build a roster on the defensive side with Tim Banks. Like it's been a slow progression, but I think you can trust their selection process, their evaluation process. So even though there's some names you might not know on the defensive side, I think their depth is still there, and I think those guys that will step up will prove the positive steps they've been taking on that side of the football for some time now that kind of show the fruits of their labor. So to give you our prediction here for their schedule, I want to preface with this. There's a lot of teams you played last year that were wins that got better offensively. How does your defense address that? More on that as we go here. Syracuse, first game of the year, got to be a win. Should be a win. I think it is a win. I think it's a tone setter win. Play East Tennessee State. I think that's a win. Then you play Georgia. This is the game where
At home, too, I think.
I think you do have to ask a good amount of Joey Aguilar. I think you do have to ask them to go apply pressure to Georgia on offense and say, hey, Gunnar Stockton, go answer scores. This is a game that I think Georgia wins. All right, I think Georgia wins this football game.
I would agree.
I think the talent for them on that side of the football offense.
Going into Neyland, though, that's going to be that, that's in Tennessee's favor by, that's a massive advantage, them going into Neyland. Stockton playing in Neyland. I don't think Stockton played at started in a true road game last year. He played in the SEC championship game. And then I believe Georgia had the first round bye, so he didn't have to play a playoff game on the road anywhere. It was always a neutral site. I could be wrong on this, but I don't think Stockton has started a game on the road. And I don't believe Georgia plays a good opponent until Tennessee. I'll have to look at the schedule, but I'm just going off what I'm thinking. Yeah, this will be Stockton's first true road game, which it's a crazy one for your first true road game. So
is going to be a little bit more true to what they've been historically with how they operate. I think they'll run the football better. So I think you drop that game to Georgia, but I think you beat UAB, and then you kind of get rolling here. Get a win over UAB, a win at Mississippi State.
Yeah, 4 straight home games.
You avenged the loss last year over Arkansas. I think that one feels pretty good in Neyland. Then you go to Bama. Here's what I worry about in this spot for Tennessee.
You're ending the season. Okay, hold on. No, I was looking at this wrong. I was thinking these orange blocks here were the road games. Okay, no, I see it now. Okay. Never mind.
Alabama in 2025 will be able to win games in a more multiple style than they could a year ago. Because last year, what was it? If Jalen Milroe can't run the ball, we're cooked.
You hear that, LSU? But yeah, we let the dude score 4 touchdowns on us in 2 straight years. He had 8 rushing touchdowns on us in two years, dude. Y'all pissed me off with this shit. But all I was saying was make Milroe throw the ball and we win the damn game. Did y'all? No.
We're living in neutral as an offense. Whether it's Ty Simpson, Austin Mack, Keelan Russell, I don't think that'll be Bama's story here in 25. So with that being said, I actually think that Bama's talent is going to be a touch more accessible, a touch more relevant in this spot than it was a year ago, and I think you actually lose that game at Bama. Get a win over Kentucky. This is one that's going to make y'all mad, so roll with me here.
Kentucky could be
I like Oklahoma a lot.
Weird
I like
one.
John Mateer a lot. I think if it comes down to a quarterback duel, I'll lean John Mateer. So I think you drop that game against Oklahoma, actually.
I don't know. That's not my video.
All that. I understand it's going to be a game where you're probably talking about college football playoff and those implications. Listen, I'm trusting John Mateer. I'm trusting Brent Venables. I'm not distrusting Josh Heupel, but I think that in this spot, you see the quarterback advantage.
You're going to be at home, too. Mateer going to Tennessee.
Went over to Mexico State. Now, you haven't won, I told y'all, beginning of the show, in the swamp since George W. was president. I think
that's going to be tough
this season. I think you get a win in the swamp. And I know
I would flip those. I would flip those. I would go Tennessee beats Oklahoma because they're going to be at home. And then I would say you lose in the swamp. As long as Lagway's healthy, Florida's looking pretty solid, dude. They're looking pretty solid. As much as I hate to say it, I would flip there. If you're going to give Tennessee a loss in one of those games, I'm going to give them a loss against Florida rather than Oklahoma.
At this point now, you've got 3 losses. So it's kind of like, well, JD, it doesn't feel great. I mean, cool, we beat Florida in the swamp, but we're not really all that excited about that. We missed the playoff, which we made that last year. We expect to make the playoff again. Nico wasn't lighting the world on fire. We're missing the playoff with a capable quarterback? I don't think so. If you can beat Florida at the end of the year at Florida, I think that would, at the very least, stabilize morale in Knoxville and say, okay, it wasn't the year we wanted, but to get that monkey off our back and to remind everyone who our head coach is that, no, this is a team that we still play for our head coach in a pretty intense level, I think that would say a lot about the direction of Tennessee football over the course of the next few years. If anything, just reemphasize, hey, we're going to be cool. And then you beat Vandy to win the state of Tennessee to finish the year with a record of 9-3. Now 9-3 with a quarterback who missed all of spring practice in an offense that's tough to get up to pace with. I'm not here to like pat you on the back or pat you on the head and say good year, but like honestly, it's not bad. It's not bad, and I would say arguably the toughest conference in America. So Tennessee finishing the year at 9-3. That would obviously probably have you miss the playoff, but I would say if you're a Tennessee fan, you disagree with that take, and I'm sure a lot of y'all that are on the more optimistic side of this schedule, you do. I got you one game away, one standard deviation away from being a playoff team. So if it shakes that way, I wouldn't be all that surprised either. But 9-3 is my take here for whatever UAB.
Okay, so I had them going 9-3 as well. I could see the losses being Georgia, Bama, and I would say Florida. So that would be one home game that y'all lose. Alabama and Florida, both road games. Those are very tough places to play at. And Florida, by that point in the season, is like a 2-loss, 3-loss team. The Swamp is going to be packed. It's probably going to be packed regardless. It's probably going to be a night game. I could see, that's my 3 losses there. Georgia, at Bama, at Florida. I think Tennessee can beat the rest of those teams there, man. But I could very well see, I would say Georgia and Bama are the most likely losses. I could see y'all beating Florida, bro. It wouldn't be anything crazy. It'd be hard to go in and win, but I could see it happening and y'all being 10-2. I could see it, man. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, man. I'll catch y'all in the next one.